Ready, Phantom?
Ready, Keg.
Let's go! Oh, hey, it's time for the TBBAP show. Everybody watch, come on, let's go. TBBAP! Hello and welcome to this week's episode of TBBAP.
That's two best brothers bitch about ponies.
I'm Keg Standard.
And I'm Phantom Horn.
And this week's episode was Crusaders of the Lost Mark.
And holy cow, Keg, was this ever an intense episode?
It certainly was intense. This episode, Phantom, perhaps you're not aware, is on the 5th anniversary of the show. And so I think that was a motivating factor for the level of effort that went into this episode and the big events that transpired during the duration.
And let's just fucking get it right out in the open. They got their dang cutie marks.
They sure did. They got their cutie marks. They got their cutie marks. They got their cutie marks.
They did.
Yes!
They sure did, Keg.
This is what I've been waiting for since the season 1. Since season 1 when the Cutie Mark Crusaders were formed.
I'm happy that you're happy.
And that's good. And what really makes it the best possible situation is, there could have been an episode about like Apple Bloom gets her mark in apples or whatever, and it creates separation in the group, whatever. But this episode went like a totally different direction and made it an episode about someone else like entirely, and it was about them like helping, Diamond Tiara in this case, overcome like issues with her. And through that, they found the meaning of their lives because they were no longer fixated on like, gotta get my cutie mark. They started thinking about the stuff outside, themselves. They weren't thinking as selfishly and actually focused on what they could do to like help people and what was special about them. And through that, they got their cutie marks. And man, it was perfect. It was perfect.
I understand what you're saying.
Oh, I'm hearing some reservations.
I have pretty complex feelings about this episode and its events. Yeah, I mean...
Oh, no. I have very, very simple feelings about it. Very fucking simple.
Simple feelings for a simple pony, Keg.
That's right. And I can explain them. And this one might take a little while to get into.
Right.
But yeah, let's... Hey, go ahead. If you want to take it somewhere,
all right.
Lead the way.
I don't know how in love I am with the whole concept of the Cutie Mark Crusaders being a continuing organization for helping ponies find their cutie marks. Because everyone... Okay, before this season, I would have said everyone eventually finds their cutie marks.
Yeah.
Why do we need an organization for it?
But what of Troubleshoes, Phantom?
Okay, this season did have... It had the Troubleshoes episode, which this episode actually...
This episode fixes. This
episode redeemed... Troubleshoes,
and I want to go into that a little bit later.
It made that one relevant because now we see that there are ponies that get their mark but don't understand them.
Well,
and this episode did the same thing because it had Diamond Tiara have her mark, but not really. I mean, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to see them being like, okay, just because you get your cutie mark, that doesn't mean that's the end of your character development. Like you might still have more to learn.
This is what's great about this. This ties into every single thing in the episode and makes that episode much better in retrospect. Because I mean, Diamond Tiara is a fucking child. She's like in elementary school. So like, of course she's not done growing. Of course she's not like a fully formed adult who knows exactly what she's going to do with her life. So her confusion about her cutie mark wasn't so much that she doesn't know what it means, because she does. It means she gets what she wants. And that has never changed. That's always been the case. But this episode shows how she didn't understand what to do with it. Like how she fits into the grander scheme of things.
Yeah.
Man, this episode fixes so many fucking problems. I can't even believe how satisfied I am with this whole thing. It's just, so Troubleshoes, right? We had big problems with Troubleshoes back in the day, but it's so I can totally believe now, after seeing this episode, that one man in a million, one pony in a million like Troubleshoes would get his cutie mark, and then just at that time, because he knew what he was good at, being clumsy, like being a goofball. That's his thing. He
didn't know that, but okay.
No, I think he did, because, like, he was fucking shit up, and... Oh, wait a minute. He didn't understand.
Anyway...
Maybe I'm giving it too much credit.
Who cares about that episode?
No, that's super important and super relevant to this episode.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So, I care about it. Yeah.
Well...
Okay, if he didn't understand at any point, then yes, that's a flaw. But there's still... It's better than I thought.
He definitely didn't, so there you go.
Okay.
All right. I'm on the fence because... On the one hand, they got all right, so their cutie marks are in helping people to get their cutie marks.
Now I think you're
or not just to
oversimplifying.
get their cutie marks. Their cutie marks are basically about helping people.
That seems to be the
as
case.
A team. And okay, I will say that for that idea, their cutie marks are fucking cool. All right.
Yeah, they're rad.
As like for what they are, they're really cool, and I like that they all are like similar but have like a different twist.
They'll always be together.
I especially
Phantom.
like how Apple Blooms is a heart inside of an apple.
Yeah,
that's real cool.
It's great,
It's
and
real
like
good.
the note inside the star for Sweetie Bloom, or something like that.
Was it inside a star?
I think it was. Yeah.
What was
I
Scootaloo's?
couldn't tell what
It was a lightning
couldn't
bolt
actually tell.
inside of a Scootaloo's was a lightning bolt inside of something.
I had it open here a second ago. Hang
Whatever.
on.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, go on.
Anyway, I like the designs. They're nice.
they're real good. They're real good, man. I'm so happy.
But
they'll always be together, Phantom. Always.
At the same time,
I'm
a little
What do you think? This robs them of their individuality?
something like that. I think that they by going this like, oh, we're a super helping team route, they've kind of missed out on having them each realize their individual destiny. And I know that their destiny, I know that helping people is a legit thing to do.
Sure.
And
they're going to be social workers.
Like dedicating your life to others is a fine thing and a totally reasonable thing. But at the same time, like, what about Sweetie Belle singing? What about Scootaloo's extreme sports enthusiasm? What about Apple Bloom's potion making and general craftsmanship? Like, what of those things?
Well, I mean, Rainbow Dash doesn't have a fucking book cutie mark, even though she loves books. You know, it's just, okay, cutie marks are kind of silly because they really don't encompass every facet of your life. So,
I'm not saying that they should. I'm not saying.
Well,
that
you're
those
bringing up the
aspects
potion
are not
thing.
Encompassed. I'm saying that what makes each of them special isn't encompassed in their. I feel like I feel like the show has taken them. Yeah, you know what you said before. It kind of robs them of their individuality. I feel like the show has now said, like, what is important to these characters is that they are a super helping team. Their individual talents and differences are minor in comparison, which I think is a little bit of a shame.
Now, see, I wish that their cutie marks had some way to reflect. You know, I know that they're in a team, and if only they had some way to kind of maybe. Slightly subtly convey that they, you know, of course they're individuals. If only there was some representation on the mark. That's my point. I'm being sarcastic. They have a reflection of their personalities.
I get that, and I like that.
It's an issue of scale or degree. You're saying that this is a little bit too much. Saying that they're all one unit.
Yeah, having their mark be a cutie mark Crusader mark means that.
Well, that
is what defines them.
Ironically, Phantom, I think you're putting a little bit too much weight on their cutie marks. I don't really think it's that important what their cutie mark actually is, because the characters did not change. They're the same characters they've always been. So if their cutie marks all look the same, they've got the same emblem on it. You know that it's symbolizing that they're like a unit, but they're still them. You know, they still got their own shit going on. It's not like this is saying that, word of God.
I know it doesn't mean. I know this doesn't like erase their individuality or anything. I know
just
that.
Doesn't. Okay, all right.
It's a trade-off, you know.
It is a trade-off. That's true.
And while I can respect what's cool about this, what did happen, I have to wonder, like, well, I mean, there's all that other stuff too that could have, I don't know.
You know, because Scootaloo's scooting thing isn't really reflected in her cutie mark, I guess.
Not at all. I mean, there's the lightning bolt, which suggests that she likes to
extreme
go fast,
shit. Yeah. So, but okay, that's fair. I see your concern. However, those are very minor for me, because to me, it's much more important that they got their cutie marks, and I really like that they're related in some way. Because it's cool because like all those episodes where everyone complained about like cutie marks, why aren't they like doing their own shit? Why are they spending all this time wasting their time in the cutie marks? This episode turned it all around, and all that shit was the sort of thing they needed to do to get their cutie mark.
It did turn it around.
It was so good.
You know what? I gotta go here. I gotta do the low blow, like the ultimate low blow of MLP criticism, and bring up Faust's vision. I think that this is not Faust's vision.
Okay. At all. I'm gonna have to be harsh and say irrelevant.
It's fine to say that it's irrelevant. But all right. More specifically, what I mean in the episode where they found the Cutie Mark, Apple Bloom starts
where
the
they
Cutie Mark
founded them.
Crusaders.
Yeah.
The germ of the idea starts with Rainbow Dash being like,
yes.
why don't you just try all this stuff to get and eventually something will find your Cutie Mark.
Yeah.
And then she meets Scootaloo and the other one.
Yeah. What's
Sweetie
her
Belle.
fuck?
And then they continue that idea, and that's the Cutie Mark Crusaders. And at the time, it's clear that it was not a
mistake.
good idea, and it's not the way to find their Cutie Mark, and they're actually sort of, there's kind of like hampering themselves. Like they might have been finding their Cutie Mark some other way, but instead they're sort of doing this frivolous, silly, like, oh, let's just try everything in rapid succession.
If there's one thing
dumb
that these...
Rainbow Dash idea. And now this... I feel like the show kind of bought into its own hype because the characters believed in the Cutie Mark Crusaders so much that they eventually forgot that it's not really the best way to do it. And now they've rewritten it to be like, oh, the Cutie Mark Crusaders was so great and it helped them, and now they're going to start a new generation and help out more people with the same methods, even though their methods weren't good in the first place.
Phantom, if there's one thing that these Cutie Marks symbolize, it's that characters evolve over time, because Jesus Christ did not invent the logo for the Cutie Mark Crusaders. They did, and that's what their Cutie Mark ended up being. They created their own destiny here, and just like the show, it really pushed the whole thing of like them being a fuck up group doing their own shit. They went that route. Maybe it wasn't Faust's original intention, but that's what they did, and this was the ultimate payoff to taking that route. I think it totally worked.
More important than whether it was Faust's original intention.
Yes.
I guess what I'm trying to say is that... what am I trying to say?
I think I get what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that this, they really were kind of compartmentalized together here.
I'm trying to say that this Cutie Mark Crusaders thing...
Yeah.
For them, because it helped them discover a love of helping people... Yes, this was their path to finding their destiny.
Yes,
I guess, if you buy into that, which I kind of do and kind of don't.
It could have gone the other way. I would have been.
But I mean, if
what?
I don't believe that the Cutie Mark Crusaders methodology is I don't buy into their methodology as a legitimate route to Cutie Mark Hood, and I think that if they follow their own model in helping others, then it wouldn't be effective. I mean, I think they'll probably be better at helping others than they were at helping themselves because they're going to have more perspective.
That's exactly right.
When you're looking at yourself, you don't have the right perspective, and you can't see how you're.
And that was their whole problem all along. They were doing too much introspection, and it wasn't working for them. Look at the events of this episode.
I guess I'm saying that I don't know if their time as Cutie Mark Crusaders has actually prepared them for the task of helping others find.
But that's the thing,
which is I'm still not entirely sold on how worthwhile of a pursuit that is. I know there's some people like Troubleshoes, and I know that Diamond Tiara still needed help.
I really don't think this is dude, look at what happened this episode. Did they spend the episode helping Diamond Tiara get her Cutie Mark? No. They spent it helping Pip, and they spent it helping Diamond Tiara with her own issues. It's not about the Cutie Marks. You're getting too stuck on the Cutie Marks.
I know it's not about the Cutie Marks. I know it's just about helping people.
Yes. And that's it. Because they really haven't been doing too much of that, even though it comes up a lot this episode. In the recent season, in like last two seasons,
it's
hasn't been.
Just their last two episodes have been about helping people discover their stuff. Hot dog.
Okay, that's enough of that. Let's move on to Diamond Tiara, who was, really the star of the show before all this shit went down and the bomb dropped. This was Diamond Tiara's Pinky Pride. It was amazing. Oh my God, this episode, I'm just going to say right now, before we get into it, this episode is my favorite of the entire series. This is the best episode of the series. Okay. It beats Magical Mystery Cure. It beats Pinky Pride.
No, this episode does not touch Pinky Pride for me. But
it does. It does.
No,
it's the best episode ever made.
Diamond Tiara
always will be, probably.
Was good in this episode, and while it felt...
good.
Right, I wish there had been a little more before this episode to suggest that Diamond Tiara was redeemable. This episode seems to pretty much raise the possibility and then execute on it basically all in one fell swoop.
That was my main criticism too.
Which is I mean, no use crying over spilled milk.
The comparison to that character from Gravity Falls is quite apt here, I think. The difference is...
I guess.
Well, yeah, because she was the exact same spoiled bitch who is eventually redeemed and becomes one of their friends. The difference is, with that character, they raised along the way, Velvet, Victoria, whatever her name is. Yes. Along the way, there were all these little glimpses that, she was actually a nice person, just putting on airs for various reasons.
Right.
But with Diamond Tiara, that
really
never happened, and I get the feeling
it
was because the writers just, didn't think of it. It wasn't intentional. They just sort of, didn't get around to ever doing that until this episode when they did it all.
Yeah, so that could have been better, but it's not terrible.
But I don't care.
And I think, and I mean, we've never seen her mom before, and we've seen that her dad is mostly a nice guy. So I think by introducing the mom and having the mom be kind of mean and commanding and oh, you've got to,
Gibbon Takes Video really went into it, covered it quite well. I agree with all of his shit. Yeah,
amazing,
what was her name? Spoiled Rich, her mom. Basically, her mom's a terrible role model, and she was trying to be like her.
I don't understand why the mom hates blank flanks.
Dude, the blank flank comment was hilarious. She hates everyone.
Okay, I get that what they're trying to do there is say that Diamond Tiara picked up this habit of mocking the blank flanks from her mom. I don't understand why the mom would be so mean about being a blank flank. But I guess she's just a big bad person. She likes
Ayn Rand, and she likes people who follow their vision, and people who don't have visions are subhuman fucks. Now listen to this. Here's some conspiracy theory that you can totally get behind, Phantom.
Maybe.
So I think you're gonna dig it. So when there's that scene where she's talking to Diamond Tiara with her mom, Spoiled Rich, she says what was the line? It was something like, oh, how awful would I feel, and you'll shame the family if you ever lose, or how bad will we feel if you fail at shit? And Diamond Tiara feels real bad, and at that moment, and we're rich, you need to put on the proper airs. And she looks over, and the two unicorns walk by,
Fancy Pants and
Trophy Wife. Now here's the canon.
Why were they there? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They were visiting. Doesn't matter. But imagine if you're an Earth Pony family trying to make it in high society. There's all these unicorns who are the ones. The Diamond Tiara family. The Diamond Tiara family has a complex of a rich family who's the new money. They have a complex that they're inferior to the unicorns.
They're actually not new money. I mean, they've had money for at least a generation because
only two generations.
The grandfather. Okay, fine. So they're kind of new.
Equestria was founded 1,000 years ago. They've had it for what, 50?
I can totally get behind that. All the rich ponies are the Canterlot elite. They're all unicorns, and this is an Earth Pony family trying to rise above their natural place.
I know, right?
And
see, that's good stuff, right?
That I can totally get behind the idea that this family faces opposition by the old unicorn elite.
The unicorns were the source of their complex that's made Diamond Tiara into such an asshole by following her mom's example. It all comes back to good old racism.
It sure does, and thank goodness for that.
But okay, let's talk about Diamond Tiara's redemption. It was rad, and I loved it, and it was amazing.
Other than being a little quick, yeah, it was good.
Man, and but so is it just she's good now, forever?
I guess she's good now. I guess she's decided that the Cutie Mark Crusaders are cool after all.
I've been waiting for this moment for so fucking long,
and she's not gonna be mean.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Dude, and how about Silver Spoon?
She'll probably be a little mean. She's still going to be bossy because her cutie mark is still about getting what she wants.
She'll be, but that's
now
fine.
She's just, now that what she wants is to help people.
Yeah, she understands friendship, dude. She gets it.
Yeah, if what you want is to help people, then getting your way is a pretty good thing to be able to do for society.
So fucking good.
Good. And I like, oh man, Silver Spoon is telling her you can just show them that you care, but she's like, no, shut up, stupid.
Dude, she cuts her off with a high note. That was fucking criminal.
And that basically loses her the election.
I know, that was the moment.
It's because she was mean, and then she loses. And then then Silver Spoon's like, I've had enough of your junk. And then in the end, we get that shot of her, she becomes nice again, and then she holds up the beam, and it's
dude, they're friends again.
They're going to be cool now because Diamond Tiara is not going to be such a jerk anymore.
My God. What's their relationship going to be, though, if it's not Diamond Tiara just telling her what the fuck to do all the time? I guess it'll be the same.
Diamond Tiara will still probably be telling her what to do.
This episode had my two favorite things in life, Cutie Mark Crusaders and Silver Spoon. And she sang. She did,
and
cutting her off was perfect because it was so infuriating.
I liked the kind of mellow, sort of like, it's kind of like country-ish vibe of the songs.
Yeah, the songs.
They were all sort of like ballady, like nice.
Most of them. I really liked the song that Diamond Tiara sings, her first song, which was like, it reminded me a lot of Bats, like the Danny Elfman, like bum 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 bum. That was awesome.
The Cutie Marks have this nice the ultimate reward of a Cutie Marks. Dude, that song was nice, and they reprise it a bunch, and in the end, it gets all good.
The structure of the whole thing totally reminded me of the Abbey Road medley from my favorite Beatles album, Abbey Road.
Sure.
You never give me your money, I only send you my invitation.
If you say so.
That was playing through my head the whole time.
Okay. Yeah, but then Diamond Tiara got that cool, like, evil song. I can't remember off the top of my head how it went.
Dude.
But it was very, like, discordant.
Yeah.
I'm Diamond Tiara, and it was nice.
And the next one where they're trying to, like, convince her not to go, fuck up everything.
Okay, the worst thing about this episode for me was that chase scene song. I did not I did not at all buy into the idea that they're... I mean, she's
that has some of the best lines in the show. Like, there's so much more to learn about yourself.
But they had this conversation while they're sprinting to school.
They were traveling, and
I thought it was really stupid. And I thought that seeing her, like, put on, just the fact that it happened while they were running, I didn't like it.
Yeah, fuck creativity in the framing of a scene.
It wasn't creativity. It wasn't believable that this, like, personal conversation would happen.
It wasn't
in the middle
believable.
Of a sprint.
They were singing a fucking musical.
I just didn't like that they were running while they sang it. It was dumb.
So your problem is it's impossible to sing while running.
No, my problem is that the fact that it happened while running robbed it of the impact that it should have had.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It just made me feel like it didn't feel right.
Okay, well, as someone who doesn't miss the forest for the trees, that had some of the best lines that really summed up everything in the show.
It was like that song in Equestria Girls, the one in the cafeteria. Yeah, it's a good song, but the context of it, the fact that they're dancing on cafeteria tables and, like, singing at lunch, makes it dumb.
Dude,
and it robbed it of the impact it should have had.
They were going to stop her from the place she was trying to go. Yes, how could they have done it differently?
It's not anything about the song itself. It's the way it was delivered that I thought was silly, and I didn't like it.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so the whole thing, it's kind of coming back to the whole point of the episode, but, like, everything in this episode.
Wait,
Jesus Christ, what?
The fact that I didn't really buy that the stakes were high during that sprint. I mean, she's running to school to tell them that she has money so that they'll vote for her.
Well, whatever, dude. Pinkie Pride didn't have high stakes, and that was still good.
I didn't really
Pinkie Pride had literally 0 stakes.
It had emotional stakes.
As did this.
No,
they were trying to save Diamond Tiara from herself.
I did not believe that even if she arrived and said, I have the money, I didn't think that they would actually immediately hold a revote and make her student body president.
It wasn't about Pip. It was about saving Diamond Tiara from betraying herself and the new good things that she was doing in her life. That's what the stakes were.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, but whatever. I want to talk about something else. The whole episode had this whole theme that we talked about before, and man, I loved hearing it. When I saw the episode a second time, all these little lines that I just didn't really pick up on totally stuck out to me. In the last song, after they get their cutie marks, they're like, "It's a place for us to start, and our journey has just begun." Like, all that shit, like, totally made the whole thing with how Diamond Tiara didn't get her cutie mark make sense, and just, what I'm trying to say is, like, every aspect of the show swirled together in one beautiful fucking message about, like, how it's not just about you get your cutie mark and you're done and that's it. It's life is an ongoing process, and, like, every day is a new beginning, and no matter what you've done before, you can just choose to leave it behind and start fresh. Oh my God, it was so fucking great. Great.
I am on board with everything.
Like,
you're saying
one of the
right
best
now.
Morals of the series. Just fucking great. I mean, how do you rank morals? I don't know, but I dug it.
I don't know if I'd call it a moral. It was
a message. I don't know.
I just like that the show acknowledged the fact that getting your there's more to realizing your destiny than getting your cutie mark.
Really, the inclusion of that idea like has made a lot of things a lot clearer for me, which is real good.
It's really changed.
It's
You're gonna throw away those shades of yours.
My shades, dude. They don't define me.
No,
maybe I'll become a shade salesman, or
maybe you'll pick up that foam hoof that you had in that first time I ever drew you.
What an amazing idea.
What a nostalgia trip, right? Remember that thing?
Of course I remember.
From the first ever TBAP episode.
Like horse poon? Horse?
No, I think it just said ponies. Just
it
big
did just
foam
say ponies.
hoof that said ponies on it.
Maybe my destiny lied in that foam finger all along.
You've been looking in all the wrong places, Keg.
For what I had deep inside all along.
This feeling inside me, finally found my foam hoof. I'm finally free.
Coming next week, TBAP finale, where we rediscover our unbeginning.
Gosh,
that's. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, we could talk about like Pip and the election, but who gives a shit?
I didn't care about Pip in the election, so I'm glad that it was just a vehicle for this other better things.
Totally.
Even though there was stuff I didn't like about the episode, it still had a lot of impact for me. And in the final song, when they're getting their cutie mark, I was still feeling it. I was still like,
I felt it so fucking hard, dude. I don't care what the episode's about. If they make it a musical, like, it's gonna be great. Every musical episode has been fucking my favorite. My 3 literal favorite episodes are all the musical ones.
The musical aspect of this episode was strong, and it was well placed, and the episode deserved it. And
I cried. I cried several times watching this episode.
I didn't cry.
I cried both times. I'll cry again when I watch it after we're done
cry,
here.
But on a rewatch, I did get a little emotional with the the song after they get their cutie marks.
So fucking good.
Oh, when the big sisters are telling them how proud they are.
Oh shit, dude!
That was
when
good.
Rainbow was talking to Scoot and's like, "You teach me shit every day." So good.
I'm so proud of you, little buddy.
I'm so proud of you, fucking assholes. You did it.
Apple Bloom, if Mom and Dad were
here,
my God! They'd be so
Applejack said if Mom and Dad were here, they'd be so proud. That was a fucking bombshell, dude. Fucking bombshell.
I mean, I wouldn't call it a bombshell, but it was pretty good.
They addressed it directly. Oh,
yeah,
holy shit.
Whatever.
The heart in this fucking episode. Amy Keating Rogers wrote this episode. She wrote Pinkie Pride. She's the fucking best. Everything's amazing. It's the best episode ever.
Thanks,
fucking
Amy.
10 out of 10. 10 out of fucking 10. Good job. Do it again next week.
I don't know. I can't give this episode a score. I mean, there's a lot I would have changed, but I still really liked it overall.
There's some, I don't know, whatever.
It's a good episode. Hey, let me just mention one last thing I did really like when Diamond Tiara, during the evil song, when she says like you've all got secrets and a vote for me is a vote to keep them safe.
That was good shit.
That was
dude.
Like chilling. That was like, oh, she's evil.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, your main extensions and your creepy strength and your gross teeth. Okay.
Kind of reminds me of her newspaper days because she got dirt on everybody.
It did actually.
Yeah.
It did. I don't know how having weird teeth is like a secret, but okay.
He keeps his mouth closed, I guess.
He better keep his mouth closed.
Or spill the beans.
Yes. Whatever that means. Anyway.
It's a common phrase, Phantom.
Oh yeah, I forgot. There were a bunch of this episode continued the trend this season of lots of references and tying it into old ones. Like they called Pip a transplant from Trottingham, acknowledging
that was cool.
that he was a transfer student. They the reason the playground needed to be fixed is because they said
Tarek fucked it up. Yeah.
And then they mentioned like just like the window when Discord was. By the way, I really like that stained glass window.
I didn't get what was going on there. What was up with that? Did like Discord break that window or something?
I guess during the whole Discord turns the world into chaos.
But wasn't that like 2-3 seasons ago?
In addition to the entire world ending, the window broke.
Yeah. The stained glass window was legit. Totally like reference the Celestial windows. It was rad.
It did.
It was rad.
That was cool.
I don't know, dude. We should wrap it up. We've been going a long time.
Shit. Man, what else can I say?
I could look over my. I don't know. I've said it all. I've said everything I need to say.
I've said it all. Go back and listen to this episode over and over again to get my full thoughts on this real fucking this real trip of an episode.
It was so. This is one, dude. Like this, Pinky Pride, Magical Mystery Crusade. I'm gonna watch those episodes.
Magical Mystery Crusade.
I'm gonna watch these episodes. Like I continually go back and watch them just for fun because they're so fucking good.
This is going on your rewatch list.
Absolutely, 100%. I want to watch it again. I just watched it twice. I want to watch it again right now.
There you go.
That's it. That's the best I could possibly say.
You said it all, Keg. You said it all right there. Okay.
Thanks for watching,
listening,
guys.
everyone. Before we go, I want to say a big thank you to our $2 and up patrons. Megan Hannafin, new patron. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Michael Anarelli, also a longtime patron who we are very grateful to. Thank you very much. Noah Troutman, Crack. You guys are amazing too. $5. That's a big deal to us.
Damn, son. Who are you trying to impress?
Jacob Bielski, another new guy. Reverse Spectrum. Indigo Whisk. Little Tinker, another veteran.
Yeah,
pledger.
veteran,
Justin Adams, another veteran. Angela Duran, thank you too. Nicholas Schwalb. Paul Toussaint. You guys have been keeping us going.
You keep us going. And you know what? I'm glad you guys did.
Keep on chugging.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Thank you for reminding me to watch this episode because I might have forgotten.
Yep.
And man, I'm glad I didn't. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
See you later.